For things to change for you, you've got to change. Otherwise, it isn't going to change. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. If you just remain how you are, you'll always have what you've got.
You heard the guy, didn't you? So, this is Jim Rohn. He was one of the most influential figures in the self-improvement industry in America back in his day. And although he's long gone, what he said, I truly believe in. I mean, I'm not a big advocate of a lot of things, but I am convinced. Just let me set up the camera. I am absolutely and utterly convinced that regardless of where you are in life, you might have had a bad start to the year or you might have had a phenomenal start to the year. Regardless of wherever you are in life, if you do the right things, if you plan your moves strategically, intelligently, and if you are willing to do the hard work, there is no way on the planet you're not gonna get out of life what you want. That's my conviction. I get it, okay? There are people always on your face telling you you should work hard, you should do this, you should do that. But trust me, right after high school, I had all the willingness to work hard, all the zeal, the work ethic, the enthusiasm. What I did not have was a clear roadmap of what would lead me to an incredible quality of life. And I've spent years, literally years, almost half a decade, trying to figure out what are the moves that one needs to make if one does not have any clarity in life, but just has the willingness to work hard. And I've created a blueprint, a detailed blueprint that I'm going to be sharing with you through this video. Now, I'm a firm believer that whatever you have the courage to ask for in life, you're going to get. Things become self-fulfilling prophecies, right? You think that you can make $1,000 a month, you're going to make $1,000 a month. You think you can make $10,000 a month, you're going to make $10,000 a month, right? You're limited only by the way in which you think in life, right? So think about it. What exactly is it that you want in life? Are you courageous enough to ask out of life everything that your heart desires? Or are you going to be logical and realistic and just shortchange yourself and aim low? If I am to make an error, I'm going to make the error of aiming too high and dreaming too big. Because honestly, I'm going for it all. But this video isn't me telling you about what I want, what I don't want. All I want to say is, if you are someone like me who believes in the power of his or her dreams, who believes that a fantastic quality of life is available to you, but simply do not have a crystal clear roadmap laid out, then I'm here to tell you that adopting a lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement, which is just a fancy word of saying choosing to work on yourself day in and day out and making that your lifestyle. If you do just this much, you can have out of life everything you want. Trust me, it's going to take time, but you're going to have that. So before I pull out an instrument that I just got so that I can be more effective in explaining concepts, I'd like you to think about the word self-esteem. Now, the word esteem comes from estimation, which is basically a measure of sorts. So self-esteem is basically how you estimate yourself, how you measure yourself. Now, I don't know what life has been like for you. Life might have been very healthy for you. Life might have been a smooth sail for you, and you might be at the top of your game thinking that you are the shit, and you can get out of life anything you want. You might be on your A game, or life might have been rough. You might have been beaten down by life, and you might think that, okay, uh, the chosen few can have the luxuries in life, but I personally cannot. Regardless of what you're thinking, I'm here to tell you that you can develop a very healthy self esteem where you think very highly of yourself. This doesn't mean you have to put other people down. There can be other people thinking highly of themselves, and you can meet in a spirit of co elevation and do a lot of cool shit together. But for yourself, for myself, I'd like to always have a healthy sense of self esteem. I'd like to believe that if I work hard, I can get out of life anything I want, and I think that I can become the best at whatever it is that I do. People can call me arrogant, they can call me narcissistic, they can call me cocky, but that is completely fine. That's fine by me. Because if in my own mind I'm not thinking that I can be the absolute best in life at whatever it is that I do, if I don't think that way, that in the future I am gonna be unbeatable, untouchable, top of my game, if I don't think that way, then I won't have the drive to work hard right now. You know what I mean? If I don't believe in the possibility of my dreams coming true, then what is gonna drive me to work hard today, to do the hard work today and to put in the reps today, right? So I really do not mind haters, naysayers, people calling me things. That's the least of my botherations, because I understand fully, and I want you to understand this fully. If in your own head you have the mental models that will allow you to make solid progress in life, to help you get towards the fulfillment of your truest desires, and to do a lot of good in the world. I mean, you're not going to be influential or powerful without doing good in the world, right? As long as you're not hurting people, you're not stealing from people, you're not corrupt, I think you can do whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you're not invading the personal space of people around you, right? So people are gonna talk, but we are gonna keep progressing anyways. So without any further ado, let me whip out that instrument. And I'm pretty excited actually. So we'll whip up the instrument, you'll see. And together, you and I are gonna gain a crystal clear vision of the future that we can move towards and that we can materialize. So let's fucking go. Alright guys, I might have hyped you all a little too much with regards to the instrument that I was talking about. It's basically a whiteboard, so that's about it. So we're gonna have to set this up, and then you're gonna see me write and explain things like I'm a professor. But before we do that, there's a little problem that we have, because I don't have a stand yet. It's still in transit, so since I do want to get the video out early, we're gonna have to make shift. So let's get things rolling. Here we have it. Alright. There we have it. The board set up. You don't want to know what's behind the board though. It's a mess. But we're just getting things done, and I welcome you to the classroom taught by yours truly. Now we're getting into the explanation part, so we're gonna whip out the lights, the better camera is out, and we're gonna get things going. All right, there we have it. We have things set up here and we have a few things written down. This is gonna be the subject matter of the video. So see, my intention with every piece of work that I publish is to add as much value as I can, and especially with this one because I'm amping up the YouTube game, you know. Anywho, let's dive right into the subject matter. Life is multi-dash. Now, if you've watched any of my videos earlier, you know what I'm gonna fill this up with, right? Life is multi-dimensional. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is simply, see, there are a lot of things that are gonna affect the quality of our lives in it. Say you're struggling to pay your bills. Now, money is something that's gonna be bothering you. And say you're not even thinking about your health because you're in good health. Now, flip the script. If you have a lot of money, but you are in serious pain, what's gonna be a botheration now? It's gonna be your health. Now, say you have your money in check, you have your finances, and as well as your health in check, right? But you have a fight with your spouse, or you're not getting along very well with your dad or your mom. Now your relationships are what's going to affect you. So life is multi-dimensional, right? And our goal is to have a great quality of life. I'm just going to write QOL, but that's quality of life. Now, if you've been anyone who's been a product of the traditional systems of education, schools, universities, you might even be in it right at this moment. For the most part, what we've been taught, and this is what you're probably been taught also, you get good grades so that you go into a good university. Now you get into a good university, you make sure that you have a good GPA so that you get placed into whatever corporation, whatever, so that you can have a well-paying job and then you can thrive. That's the idea that's been proposed, right? That's the traditional mode of education and what it advocates. And that's fine. Making money is absolutely important. I'm not denying that. But money only, this is the key word, money only solves dash problems. What does it solve? Money only solves money problems. Now, if you're struggling to pay your bills, having a lot of money is going to solve it. If you need to pay for healthcare, having a lot of money is going to solve it. If you have, say, if you have the desire to build a good body and you need money for nutrition and you want a gym membership, having money is going to solve it, right? So money solves money problems. But say you got cancer. God forbid that happens, but say you got cancer. Is money going to solve it? Absolutely not. Say you don't feel aligned in your life, but you have tens of millions in the bank account. Is money going to solve it? I don't think so. Say you've had a really bad fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband. Now, no amount of money is going to solve that either, right? Say your kids are growing up on their iPads. They don't go out to play. They're physically weak. Is money going to solve it? No. I mean, you get my drift, right? Life is multidimensional. The goal is to have a good quality of life, and money will only solve money problems. Now, so what are the various dimensions of life? What's behind me is actually life in a very compartmentalized fashion. There was a resource called the Life Book. It was a course that I took online about 4 years ago. Invaluable resource. I highly recommend everyone take it if you're serious about sharpening your intellect. But what it did was it simply divided life into 12 dimensions, very clear dimensions, and these are written down here, right? So you start off with health and fitness. Now mind you, every single dimension here can be generic. So say for example, health and fitness. Your preference here might be different. You might just want a body that is flexible and you don't want a lot of muscles. Or you might want a lot of muscles and you want to be a fighter. Or you don't want any of that, you just want to be a good swimmer. So your preferences might vary, but since you do live in a body, you're going to be affected by this, right? So I hope I'm clear so far. So health and fitness is one, which is basically your physical health, and this affects your quality of life. Now your intellect. Think about it. Human beings are the most powerful species on planet Earth because of the intellect. Our human mind is the only tool that we had at our disposal back then that we used to rule over planet Earth. Now, also, it might get a little overwhelming and a little confusing at first, but stick with me. Your health and fitness is gonna affect your intellect. Your intellect's gonna affect your health and fitness. And your intellect's gonna affect, say, your romantic relationship. And your romantic relationship is gonna affect your health and fitness. And everything is interrelated, right? So your intellect is basically about your mind, how sharp you are, how intelligent you are, right? So we come across all these 12 categories. But before we dive into the framework, I want to drill one lesson into your head for once and for all. I really want to get this through to you. Think about your intellect, right? And think about how we have been taught to measure a person's intelligence. Now you think about it. What is intelligence? How do you measure intelligence? Now, I went to school and I was taught I'm going to be writing exams twice or thrice a year. And if I'm going to score well there, I'm going to get good grades there, then I'm intelligent, right? And that was the belief I had for the longest time. And then that plays out in the future years. I mean, if you're intelligent in elementary school, you're probably going to be intelligent in high school. And then you're going to get good grades in your university and then blah, 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 that goes on. But think about it. I've met a lot of very intelligent people who scored very well in their examinations, but they had really bad social lives. I mean, they were nerds and they didn't get along with people very well. And I mean, the quality of life suffered, right? They didn't have many friends. And think about it. A lot of very sharp, intelligent people I know, sharp, intelligent by that metric, scoring good grades and having a high GPA, they had messed up relationships, romantic relationships, or they had really bad health. I mean, I know people who are morbidly obese but have really good GPAs, who have really good marks in the examinations. So, would you call that kind of a person intelligent? Scoring straight A's but having their life falling apart in other areas. Now, to my estimation and to my way of thinking, absolutely not. That person, in my eyes, is not intelligent. Now, when I took this life book course, the mentor, his name is John Butcher, he planted an idea in my head. He said, for him, how intelligent a person lives is how intelligent he actually is. Which is to say, see, all of these areas of your life, your emotional life, there's your romantic relationship, social relationship, your career, your finances, your emotional life, your character. If your intellect, because this is the only tool we have, if your intellect allows you to think through all of these things in a manner where you can balance everything out so that you have a high level of achievement in every single area without missing any of these. Now think about it. See, you're incredibly healthy, you're incredibly intelligent, you have good emotions, you have a very noble character, you feel close to God, but then your romantic relationship is messed up and you are a really bad partner, and because of that your spouse is a really bad partner. I mean, that's gonna crumble your life down. You're not gonna have a good quality of life, which is the goal, right? So the point is to have an intellect which allows you to take care of all of these things. I hope you're clear about how you can look at intelligence in a manner that is holistic, that can be extrapolated and applied to bettering the whole entire quality of your life and not just earning good grades. I hope that's clear. Now, moving forward, I want to club a few things here. I mean, you can see these written in green, right? This is what I call your personal life. Personal life, because your health has got nothing to do with anyone except for yourself. Your intellect has got nothing to do with anyone but yourself. Only you are going to feel your emotions, so that's why your emotional life is here. Your character, which is basically a collection of your character traits, that has got nothing to do with anyone else. And you have your spirituality, which is basically your belief in whatever higher power that you believe in. I believe in the one true God, and this is very important to me. And then comes your relationships. This I call your relationships, which is basically your romantic relationship, regardless of what your inclination is, whether you're into guys or girls or you're into the same gender, that is irrelevant, but this has got to do with people, right? So that's your romantic relationship. And there's your social relationships, which is the family that you come from, the family that you choose, which is basically your, what I like to call your chosen family. These include your friends, your sisters, your brothers, people who aren't your blood, but you choose to make them your family. This is incredibly important too. And then there's parenting, which is if in time you decide to have kids, how are you going to raise them, what values you're going to instill in them, and etc., etc. So this is your personal life. This is your relationships. And this is what I call your professional life, your career and your finances. Now, although they might be interlinked, it's important to think about them separately, because think about it, you might have an asset left behind by your, say, forefathers. You have land or you have properties that generate rent and generate income for you every single month. But what you actually are a teacher, which is a career. So although you're probably earning money from being that, whatever you are, you're a teacher, a barber, whatever that is, but your finances need to be looked at separately. And we'll dive into why some other video, but this is this. And then we dive into the quality of your life, which is basically the quality of your life right at this moment. What kind of house are you living in? What kind of car do you drive? What emotions do you feel? Etc., etc. And then is your life vision, which is basically, it's a document, a crystal clear vision of the kind of life that you want to have and the kind of person you want to become 3 years, 5 years, 7 years in the future. So it's a lot to take in. It might seem overwhelming, but on this video, we're not going to focus on any of this. All we're going to focus on is your personal life, because me and my channel, we're all about personal development, right? So actually, let me wipe this off. I'll come back to you. We are on a new page now, and I'll explain all this in a short bit. Now, think about all those 12 dimensions that I just spoke to you about, and I really hope that it made sense to you. If you and I want to make sure that none of the 12 categories of our lives are fallen short or are overlooked, then what it requires us to be is intentional, because your life's not gonna straighten itself out, right? You have to put in time and effort and energy. It's got to be intention, there's got to be strategizing, there's a place for action. So there's a lot, and it can get overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. I get overwhelmed a lot of the times, and yeah, in my own opinion, I think I'm doing pretty fine, and there's more in the future for sure. But I'm okay where I'm at. And if you are someone who has nothing, no clarity, you consider yourself dumb, or you don't consider yourself that intelligent, and you just have a lot of confusion and you're frustrated and you're in a slump, but all you want to do is to work hard and to improve your life, if you have that much will, if you have that much desire, to the point where you're willing to do whatever it takes to improve your station, then what I encourage you do is to adopt a lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement. We're going to break that down, right? I've seen a lot of my own friends, a lot of my batchmates go to universities, take up courses that they had no interest in, absolutely no interest. They spent 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, a whole lot of money on the education, and of course they got the degree, the piece of paper, but it's not of any use. Spoiler alert to the kids who are looking to go to universities and kids who are in universities. It's not as fancy and as useful as people make it to be initially. And you can talk to your seniors about that. But I'm not here to slander the institutions. I'm not here to slander the traditional systems of education. All I'm saying is, if you are at a point in your life where you're confused, where you don't have much clarity, where you do not know whether or not you're doing the right things in life, but you have the willingness to work hard to create a good life, I invite you to adopt a lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement, right? We'll break this down. Deliberate, which is intentional. When you say you are doing things deliberately, you mean that you are doing things intentionally. You have intention behind it. Now, self is self-explanatory. So, self is basically you in this case. And improvement is betterment. Right? So, it's intentional betterment of yourself. And a lifestyle is basically a way of life, right? So, deliberate self-improvement. The lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement is nothing. I don't want you to confuse this with anything else. It is very simple. I don't want to complicate things for you. It is a lifestyle, it is a way of life where you're intentional about bettering yourself. It's that simple. Now, how do you go about doing all this? And just thinking about the 12 dimensions, this, that, I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I have a very simple framework where if you just focus on your personal life and adopt 3 key habits, you're going to hear me talk about the 3 key habits over and over and over again, because it completely changed my life forever and for the better. And I'm convinced that if you do it, it's going to change your life too. So we'll dive into it. A fresh page, and see, this is the framework that I have developed currently, and this is probably going to evolve over the years. But this is the best that I've been able to come up with for now, and I'm going to explain it to you in a very, very simple manner. Now, you remember your personal life, right? There were 5, maybe you can just put up that picture somewhere here. So there were 5 aspects, right? One is your health and fitness, and this directly correlates to the body. Now, the condition of your body affects you drastically, and it affects every single area of your life. See, if you're sick, for one, you don't feel good, so your emotional life is hampered. If you're sick, then your intellect isn't as sharp because you're sluggish and you don't have clarity of mind. Now, if your body is, if you're morbidly obese, you don't have the confidence of a ripped guy when it comes to going and asking women out, right? Now, your body affects every other area for sure. Like, for example, parenting. If you are a healthy mother or a healthy father, your kids are gonna grow up vastly different, and the kind of beliefs that they're gonna adopt as they grow up regarding life, what health is, what fitness should be like, is gonna be vastly different as compared to if you were morbidly obese, right? So Yeah, this affects everything. So you gotta work on this. So say this is target number 1. See, your body might not pay your bills directly, but this is worth working on, trust me. Now the mind. This is target number 2. For sure, you can't overlook this. See, you might have different beliefs about what intelligence is, but I hope after my couple minutes of ranting, things are clearer. See, if you want to build a good body, and if you're willing to put in the hard work too, but you do not know what to do, like the specifics of what to eat, how to train, how to structure your rest and recovery, then you're not going to get this. So building a body is a thinking game too. I mean, as crazy as I sound, it is a thinking game. Think about making money. See, if you're starting from scratch, like me, I don't have millions and millions of dollars that my grandparents have left me, right? So I gotta make my own bread. Now, when it comes to making money, I need to figure out what to do, how to do it really well. I need to, if I'm looking to run a business, which I am, I need to figure out what the market is gonna respond to, how I need to brand it, how I need to market it, how I need to package the offer, all sorts of things, right? The mind is playing its game when it comes to money making too. Now say I want to take a girl out on a date, right? I need to know how to approach her. How I'm going to approach her if I'm at a bar and she's at a bar is going to be vastly different from how I'm going to approach her at the gym, for example. Or say what I'm going to do on the first date is going to be vastly different compared to what I'm going to do on the 7th date or the 8th date. So it's a thinking game there too. How you're going to manage your relationship with your business partners, with your friends. Say your friend is upset at you. He's mad at you for something wrong you did unintentionally. How are you going to maneuver the whole situation? It's a thinking game there. So, yep. Target number 1, the body. Target number 2, the mind. Now target number 3 is, there's a lot of fuss around this subject. It's basically your spirituality. So we'll call it the soul or the spirit. Say, call it the spirit. See, I don't want to talk about religion and gods and whatnot, but if you're observant enough, you'll just realize that there is some power that gives life to everything. I mean, your hair grows out all the fucking time, your nails grow out, and plants bloom, and rain falls down, and there's a whole water cycle in place. Surely, honestly, to my way of thinking, this cannot be random. I believe that even though I might not understand how the universe functions fully, I believe that there is a higher power, and that is what I call God, right? Now that piece of divinity is inside of me too, because I have life. I'm not lifeless. When I die, it's going to be my corpse and me without life, because I'm going to move out somewhere else. Whatever your beliefs are about the afterlife, but I have life in me, and that's divinity inside of me. So I am a child of God. I have the cosmic DNA, and I'm very happy about that. You should be too. So in a nutshell, I believe that your spirit, if you can tap into this, you receive guidance for one, which is basically what people call your intuition, right? Imagine you're trying to solve a problem and then you don't seem to find a solution, and you're thinking hard and you have that aha moment, and you just, out of nowhere, you get an idea. Well, that's your intuition, that's your gut feeling. See, remember one of those times where someone walked into the room and you didn't feel right in your gut feeling? That's your intuition, that's your gut feeling. Now, the reason why I say this is, the reason why I think it's very important for us to take care of the spirit, and I'll explain what I mean by taking care of the spirit in some way, is because, see, you and I are going to have to do things in life especially with regards to our career, right? Some become doctors, some become lawyers, some become architects, some run hotel businesses and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you gotta sleep by yourself, and whether or not the kind of lifestyle you have and the kind of life you're living fulfills you or not, that is for you to answer. Now, I didn't go to university and I don't want a regular job. I'm doing this YouTube thingy because I want to set up a business around it. I like learning about things. I like teaching people about the things that I learn. And this to me is incredibly, incredibly fulfilling. And trust me, believe it or not, this whole content creation and setting up a business around it with regards to self-improvement, the idea came to me through a meditation session. So without making this too long, the body, the mind, and the spirit, I suggest that you do something, maybe one thing, every day to make sure that you are developing these, right? So it could be very simple. The body, you could just, take a run, for example, or you can swim. Anything really. You can go join a fighting gym, you can lift weights, you can do calisthenics. There are hundreds of things you can do. But I suggest every single day you do one. So see, this is one more activity in your day if you aren't doing this already. Then the mind. You're supposed to be constantly developing your intellect if you really want to experience a quality of life that is truly uncompromised. You're not going to make money if you're not smart, really. You might make a little bit of money, but to have a lot of money, you need to know how businesses work. You need to know how the marketplace responds to new products, services. There's a whole dimension to it. You're not going to have a great quality of life overall if you're not working on your mind, right? So you've got to be learning, right? This is a form of learning, and you're just on YouTube, maybe on your phone, your computer, whatever it is, but this is a form of learning. So there are many ways to do it. You can read, which is my personal favorite. I have hundreds and hundreds of books, and I read very, very frequently. You can read, you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to audiobooks and whatnot. The shift that you need to have if you're serious about adopting the lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement is you need to be self-educated. You shouldn't rely on institutions. You shouldn't just read about and learn about subjects when the teacher comes and teaches you. You shouldn't just study for a subject and master the subject just because you have an exam to write. No, you are learning because you want to know. That's it. So self-education. So you're learning on a daily basis, maybe an hour of reading, hour and a half of reading. So what happens is there is another activity in your day. You probably are very busy already, and I'm adding 2 activities to your lifestyle. Wait, because I'm going to add one more. The spirit. So what do? This deserves a video of its own. But I'd say start meditation if you're not doing already. See, meditation has a lot of fuss around it. It's become a part of the pop culture. You see a lot of people meditate and whatnot, but a good place to start is The Power of Now, if you want to take that route. It's a book by Eckhart Tolle. It's a green colored book. You'll probably find it in any bookstore. Or if you just want to start a YouTube video, start with the YouTube video, then I have a meditation video linked to my description that I had posted a couple of weeks back. You can refer to that, or you can listen to the guided meditations of Eckhart Tolle. He's my favorite. So that is that. Now the reason why I suggest you meditate is because, see, Eckhart Tolle says pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. Now, what he means by this is, someone might have, say, done something they shouldn't have. and now you're suffering. Say someone makes a bad financial decision on your part, then you lose $10,000. And it's happened, it's an established fact. Now you feel the pain for sure. You've lost some money, right? But is it necessary for you to suffer? I don't think so. In fact, I believe you don't have to suffer, because once you make peace with the fact that, okay, I have lost money, then there's a sense of calm and relief. Because, see, no amount of complaining, no amount of tormenting yourself, no amount of regret is gonna bring that money back, right? So why bother? I mean, it's easier said than done, but if you learn how the mind works, this is incredibly easy to do. And see, come back all the way to the moment we spoke about self-esteem. Your self-esteem is an estimate of yourself, right? And this is especially for those people who have unhealthy self-esteem. If you think that you aren't the shit, because I believe that I'm the shit, really. And I don't care what you think, because in my head, I'm the shit. I know a lot of people who believe in their own heads that they're the shit. I've got no problem with that. They are very healthy individuals. Now, if you are someone who believes that you don't have much going on for yourself, that you can't be very intelligent, you can't be very rich, then come to a meditative state and look at your thinking, look at your thought patterns. You're going to realize that you can observe your thinking, and that observer part of you, see, this might be too nuanced for this small segment, but I'll complete it in a jiffy. In your meditation state, in your meditative state, say you are looking at yourself and you are, say, looking at your self-esteem, and you realize that, okay, I don't have a lot of self-esteem, I don't think that highly of myself. Now, if you keep on looking at that thought, there's going to be a separation between the thinker and the observer. The thinker is the one who thinks that he has lower self-esteem, but the observer, well, he doesn't have any thoughts. And you are the observer. Of course, you are the thinker too, but you are the observer too. So it's your choice to believe whether you want to believe in the thinker or you want to believe in the observer. Once you choose to become the observer and operate from that space, you can just choose a different self-image totally, and you can have higher self-esteem. So yep, 3 activities: exercising, learning, and meditation to your already busy life. And I'm going to show you how to look at it so that you can draw the most amount of progress that you possibly can from your life. So listen, this is what I'm suggesting, right? Daily task number 1 is exercise. Daily task number 2 is to read. Daily task number 3 is to meditate. Now, how long? Exercising, I mean, it's up to you, but I'd suggest about 90 minutes, hour and a half. Reading at least for an hour. And meditation, I mean, you can have like 2 sessions of 10-15 minutes each. It's going to be extremely hard to meditate at first, but trust me, you'll get there. Just do it enough times. So say 30 minutes. All right. Now that would be a total of 3 hours. 3 hours. Every single day that you invest in yourself. This is the work that you do on yourself to make sure that you are improving. Right? I mean, how did we start the video? For things to better, you must get better, right? So this is how you do it. Now, I know this can be challenging, and I'm going to explain a couple of things to you. See, you've got 24 hours in a day. Is it visible? Yeah. It's 24 hours in a day, right? You gotta sleep for 8. So now you have 16 hours, right? You might be working a job, you might be going to school or university, say that takes another 8-ish hours. So you're left with 8 hours now. And you gotta eat, you gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta take a bath, etc., etc. And say you take another 3 hours here. So you're left with 5 now. And now what I'm asking you to do is to give 3 hours out of these 5 hours, or whatever amount of time you have, to self-improvement. right? And now you're left with 2 hours. Now, how your life is structured right now, that I do not know. But the point is, if you really, really try, you can take this much time out. Three hours for yourself. I mean, what more important would it be than to work on yourself, right? Now, if you are someone who's got more time than this, and I was very fortunate to have that much time because I skipped university, so I had all day to myself. And instead of 3 hours, sometimes I went overboard. I did like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on days. So, see, the point is, you might already have a lot of activities going on in your life. You might have a lot of social calls to attend, funerals and weddings, and looking after your family, looking after your siblings and whatnot. But 3 hours in a day is extremely doable. And since I am adding to your already busy life, I might also want to let you know that it's going to be difficult, right? So things are going to be difficult. And you know the old adage, pray not for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one, right? That was Bruce Lee or someone. And do not wish for a lighter load, wish for stronger shoulders, right? So now what's coming into play is this bad guy, your character. Have you ever just seen someone who, regardless of how his day is, manages to find the time and energy to go to the gym? He might have just traveled 8 hours and might even be hungry, hasn't eaten anything in his day. And then he just downs some coffee and goes to train. Sleepy, groggy, doesn't matter, he just goes. Is it because he has godlike self-discipline? Well, could be. Who knows, right? But if that is the case, then his character trait, which is self-discipline, is helping him achieve his goals, right? So let me make things clear. See, your character is a collection of, it's fairly simple, it's a collection of your character. Oops. Character traits. I mean, look at this very objectively. I told you it's a makeshift board. Look at things very objectively. There are people who lie. Why? Because they are dishonest. That's just a character trait that they've developed over the years. Some people seem to have a lot of self-discipline. Why? Because that's a character trait that's been developed over many months and years, right? Some people are like straight up fake. They're just putting up a facade. Whereas someone else might be extremely authentic. That's a character trait too. What else are character traits? There's determination and consistency, and there's self-discipline and order and preparedness and whatnot. I don't want to dive into the details, but I'm only here to tell you that your character, anyone's character, is malleable. Now, if you don't know what malleable is, let me just give you a quick example. Say I have a ring made of gold, a thick ring, and I want to turn it into a different shape. Now, whether or not that can be done depends on the malleability. Gold is a malleable metal, which means it can change forms, so it can be done. Whereas some other element might not be malleable, and when tried to be converted into a different shape might just break. So that's malleability, right? So your character is malleable, which means you can lose the character traits that you might currently have. Say you're dishonest or say you're not punctual. You can lose that because your character is malleable. And you can develop the character traits that you do not have yet. Say you're someone who claims to not have self-discipline. I told you, right? You're exercising, you're reading, you're meditating every day with this new lifestyle that you're trying to adopt to improve your station, and you say that you don't have the character trait that's required, which is self-discipline, then good. Really, you can develop it. I don't care, really. You gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself. Look at things very objectively. Your character traits are malleable. You can develop self-discipline. And how are you gonna develop self-discipline? For that matter, how can you develop any character trait? The how, right? So the answer is willpower and repetition. For example, let me just get a book. Say, I have this book. Say, I never read books, right? I'm trying to be a reader, and for me to pick this book up every single day, I need self-discipline, which too I do not have. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say to myself, I'm going to pick this book up and I'm going to read, okay, say 5 to 10 pages a day, right? 5 to 10 pages a day. That's it. I'm going to force myself to do it. It might be difficult in the short term, but this is for my own good in the long term. 10 pages a day, right? Very doable. Even if I'm bored, even if I'm lazy, even if I don't feel like doing it, I can exercise willpower. Anyone can exercise willpower, right? Now, what happens now is, I do this for the first day, I finish 10 pages. Do it 2 days, 20 pages. 3 days, 30 pages. By the time I'm on page 250, 300, I will have done the same activity over and over, and in the process, worked out my self-discipline muscles over and over to a point where this activity now becomes automatic, right? That's just how things are. Now, habits are not just your behaviors. There are neural pathways inside your body, pathways made by your neurons, which make things easy or difficult for you to do. If you're a smoker, then smoking is easy. Now, if you're a non-smoker, smoking is difficult. Why? Because you do not have the neural pathway there. Same it is with reading and exercising and meditating and anything else that you do. You have neural pathways. Now, willpower and repetition. Now, what's going to happen is over time, you are going to develop self-discipline. And the way it's going to come about is extremely, extremely interesting. Remember your self-esteem we spoke about, your estimation of yourself and your self-image and your self-identity. You are going to gradually, over time, start looking at yourself as someone who is self-disciplined. Even if you might not have been in the first place. You do it enough times, you do what a self-disciplined person would do through sheer willpower. You're going to change how you look at yourself, because you will have solid evidence as backup to prove that fact, right? And over time, what's going to happen is you won't require willpower anymore. Your willpower is going to be freed to develop another habit, to develop another character trait. So what I'm suggesting to you now is, get your sleep, for sure. Get your maintenance work done. Maintenance, which is basically your eating, washing up, showering, etc., etc. Get these done for sure. And any compulsions that you might have, say you are in school or you're attending university or you work at a job, of course, by all means necessary, get these done. But what I'm also suggesting is read, exercise, and meditate daily, ideally, right? Now, I understand when you are increasing the number of activities in your day, things are gonna get hard. They're gonna get difficult. And what is gonna be tested is your character. Now, say you decide to do all of this today. Are you going to succeed? I don't know. You might, for sure. But chances are you might not. And that's okay. You got to be honest with yourself, honest about the results you're producing, which is another character trait, honesty. And then it's like playing chess, You look at the moves that you're making, you look at the results you're producing, and then the next move you make, it's got to be the most intelligent move on the chessboard. So say you try to do this today, you fail. Tomorrow come again, try to do it again. Do it in a slightly different fashion, a slightly better fashion. Say tomorrow also you do not succeed. See what went wrong, what went right. Day after tomorrow, try it again, over and over and over. And what you're gonna realize is you can use, maybe I'll just write this down because this is important. What I'm saying is, this is the best part. This is the part I like to geek about because I'm so passionate about this. I mean, you can probably see and feel my energy through the camera when I start talking, because most of the times I'm the silent one in the group. I talk to my friends here and there, but I like to listen. I like to learn from other people. But when it comes to this subject matter, I totally geek out because I'm so interested in this. So you can use the lifestyle of deliberate self-improvement, I hope this is clear, as a vehicle. You can use it as a mode to strengthen your character. There you have it. I hope the breakdown was helpful. I hope the guide, the step-by-step guide was helpful. In a nutshell, I'd like to summarize, right? Because I want you to get all of the lessons. See, you have a body, so work on it. That's my proposal. You have a mind, work on it. You have a spirit, get close to it, right? And how do you do it? You work on your body by exercising. So that's activity number 1, you exercise. Then you read, you self-educate. So that's activity number 2. And then you meditate. That's activity number 3. Now, once you add these 3 habits to your lifestyle, might be busy, might not be busy. Since you add these habits, because you understand that these are beneficial for you in the long run, then life's gonna get busier and eventually more difficult. So what you're gonna have to do is to strive for a stronger character. And yeah, that's about it. Once you strive for a stronger character, in time, if you're doing the right things, you will come up and you will eventually have a strong character. Now, see, deliberate self-improvement, it's a lifestyle. You can't choose to just do it today and then forget about it. You can't just do it for a week and forget about it. It's a lifestyle that I really, really encourage you adopt for the rest of your life. See, once I finished high school, once I graduated from high school, I had no clarity whatsoever. My self-education journey, it transformed everything for me. Trust me, I don't need you to believe this. But let me tell you, I have a crystal clear vision for the future. I have absolute faith and confidence in my ability to achieve them. My health is extremely fantastic because I was a small, skinny, scrawny kid, and now I have the body that I have. I wasn't as sharp as I am now because I really want to be sharp here intellectually. I really, really want to be at the top of my game. I want to learn how to run organizations, learn how to build teams, learn how to deal with people, negotiate. It's all a thinking game. And see, if you and I want the same things, I'm your competition. So it is what it is. If you and I have to compete for something and I'm more prepared than you are, you're going to lose. If you are more prepared than I am, I'm going to lose. I don't mean to create a tension, a divisive energy, but I just want to get the message through. The world is hyper competitive. There are people outworking us left, right, and center, and we gotta compete with these players. So it is what it is. Suck it up, So that's that. And yes, life can get really, really, really good. Have the faith, trust the process. If you watched the video until now,
You can't even go back to the old excuse of, okay, I'd like to work hard, but I don't know what to do. Because I'm telling you, I've given you everything step by step about what you need to do to make progress in life. All we want in life is to feel a sense of progress. Tony Robbins even says progress equals happiness. See yourself progress, you'll be happy for sure. So, yep, if you don't know what books to read, I'll maybe just fill up the screen here with a list of books that I recommend you read. If you want to meditate, I'll leave a couple of links down here. And if you want to exercise, just go do a couple of push-ups and pull-ups. That's enough to start for the day. And in the next video, I'll probably come up with a detailed guide on how to build an aesthetic physique. Having said all of this, if you've stuck here, I appreciate you sticking to the end, and I genuinely hope that you received value from whatever it was that I did for the past 30-40 minutes, because honestly, this is my first time doing this as well. This is my first time writing on the whiteboard. I have a roadmap for sure, but there are skills I need to develop. There are people I need to know. There are books I need to read. There are things I need to learn how to do, which I can't do currently. So I'm putting in my reps. And this whole content creation thingy, as fulfilling as this is also a part of my whole business blueprint, let's call it that. Because yeah, I'm building a business and it's extremely interesting to me. Maybe I'll create vlog style videos talking about all this. Who knows? Let me know if you'd like to see it. Anywho, I end this one here. I'll see you in the next one.